Hey Switch fans, welcome back to SwitchTop. Today we're counting down the top 20 best strategy games on Nintendo Switch. Whether you love tactical combat, deck building, or commanding armies, this list has got you covered. Let's get right into it. Valkyria Chronicles 4 takes you back to the Second European War, where you command Squad E through a fictional conflict inspired by World War II. The game uses a unique blitz system that blends turn-based strategy with real-time third-person shooting. You'll select units on a tactical map, then directly control them in action mode, where positioning, cover, and weapon range matter just as much as your strategic choices. Each soldier belongs to different classes, like Scouts for mobility, Shock Troopers for frontline combat, Lancers for anti-armor, Engineers for support, and the new Grenadier class that can launch explosive mortars over obstacles. The story follows Commander Claude Wallace and his childhood friends as they face the harsh realities of war in the frozen northern theater. The hand-drawn canvas graphics engine gives everything a beautiful watercolor aesthetic that makes battles feel like watching a painting come to life. Managing action points to move multiple units or focus on positioning one soldier creates constant tactical decisions, and the permadeath system makes you genuinely care about keeping your squad alive through dozens of challenging missions.
I'm up.
Unicorn Overlord brings classic, tactical RPG gameplay into a gorgeous, high fantasy world where you lead a liberation army to reclaim your kingdom from tyrannical rule. You play as an exiled prince who must build an army from scratch, recruiting diverse characters from across the land to join your cause. The real-time tactical battles let you command multiple squads simultaneously across large maps, with each unit acting autonomously based on tactics you set before battle. You'll position frontliners to absorb damage, while archers strike from range, and mages unleash devastating spells, creating a chess-like flow where army composition and formation placement determine victory. Between battles, you'll explore a beautifully detailed overworld, liberate towns, complete side quests, and unlock new unit classes and abilities. The game features over 60 recruitable characters, each with their own backstory and combat specialties that can be mixed into squads of up to 6 units. What really hooked me was how the pre-battle preparation matters just as much as the combat itself. Choosing the right mix of classes and setting smart AI behaviors for each squad member creates incredibly satisfying moments when your strategy comes together perfectly on the battlefield.
Brace yourself!
Does this suit you?
Witness the royal blade!
I am your shield.
SteamWorld Heist 2 puts you in command of Captain Quincy Leeway and a crew of steam-powered robot pirates in turn-based tactical combat with a twist. Instead of traditional grid movement, you manually aim every shot in real time, bouncing bullets off surfaces to hit enemies behind cover or strike weak points from impossible angles. The game is set in the Great Sea, where water has mysteriously appeared, and you're trying to stop a hostile Navy force while uncovering the secrets of this drowned world. Each mission takes place on side-scrolling ships and structures, where elevation, cover, and positioning create tactical depth. Your crew members level up and unlock new abilities, and you can equip them with different weapons and hats that provide stat bonuses and special perks. The new job class system lets you customize each character's role, turning them into snipers, brawlers, engineers, or support specialists. Between missions, you'll explore the open ocean in your submarine, discovering side missions, shops, and story events. The manual aiming system makes every shot feel rewarding when you pull off a perfect ricochet to eliminate an enemy, and the difficulty scales nicely whether you want a relaxed adventure or hardcore tactical challenge with permadeath options. Shogun Showdown is a roguelike tactics game where you play as a wandering ronin seeking revenge, moving along a single-lane battlefield as enemies approach from the right side. The genius of this game lies in its simplicity. You can only move forward, backward, or use ability tiles to attack, defend, or reposition. Each run, you'll collect new ability tiles that go into your limited action queue, and the order you arrange them determines your combat effectiveness. Enemies telegraph their attacks one turn ahead, so success comes from reading patterns and sequencing your moves to strike before they do, while staying alive. The story unfolds through brief encounters with characters who shed light on your past and the path of vengeance driving you forward. Between runs, you'll unlock new starting characters, each with unique ability sets and playstyles that completely change your approach. What grabbed me immediately was how such a constrained rule set creates incredibly deep decision-making. Do you prioritize damage tiles, defensive abilities, or movement options? The pixel art is clean and readable, and runs are short enough that the one more try factor is dangerously addictive. Fire Emblem Three Houses drops you into the role of a professor at the Officers' Academy, where you must choose one of three houses to teach the noble Black Eagles, chivalrous Blue Lions, or cunning Golden Deer. The game splits into two distinct phases: Academy life, where you build relationships with students, train their abilities, and explore the monastery, and tactical grid-based battles, where you command your students in challenging turn-based combat. The weapon triangle system has been replaced with a more flexible approach, where any unit can learn any weapon type through training, encouraging experimentation. Your choices matter enormously because the game's story branches dramatically depending on which house you choose, eventually leading to a war where former students may become enemies on opposite sides of the conflict. Permadeath returns as an option, making every tactical decision carry real weight as you position units, exploit terrain advantages, and use the new battalion system that grants powerful combat arts. The calendar-based structure creates meaningful time management decisions. Do you spend free days training students, building support relationships, or exploring for side quests?
Had to be done. I'll go. Too slow! Next time, bring your friends.
Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle surprised everyone by proving that Mario's universe fits perfectly into XCOM-style tactical combat. A mishap with the dimension-crossing washing machine merges Rabbids with the Mushroom Kingdom, creating bizarre fusions and a twisted version of Mario's world that needs saving. You'll control a team of 3 heroes, mixing Mario characters with armed Rabbids in grid-based battles that emphasize movement and positioning over cover camping. The team jump mechanic is brilliant, letting characters bounce off allies to reach distant positions or gain height advantages in a single turn. Each character has unique weapons and skill trees. Mario wields dual blasters and can heal allies. Rabbid Peach has a triple troll bazooka and drone support. Luigi uses precision sniper rifles, and so on. The slide attack lets you damage enemies while moving, and combining movement abilities with careful positioning creates incredibly satisfying turn sequences. Between battles, you'll explore colorful worlds filled with puzzles and secrets that reward exploration. What hooked me was how accessible yet deep the combat system is. The early missions teach core concepts gently. Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp brings back 2 Game Boy Advance classics with gorgeous visual overhauls and modernized features. You'll command armies across dozens of missions in turn-based warfare, where resource management is just as important as tactical positioning. The core loop involves capturing cities for income, producing units from factories, and leveraging terrain advantages to outmaneuver opponents. Each commanding officer has unique abilities and super moves that charge during battle. Andy can repair all units, Max deals extra damage but has limited range, Sammy's infantry are incredibly strong, creating distinct strategic approaches. The game features a massive variety of units, from basic infantry and tanks to artillery, anti-air vehicles, naval vessels, and air units, each with specific strengths and weaknesses that create rock, paper, scissors dynamics. The campaign follows multiple COs as they defend their nations from invasion, with storylines that balance lighthearted character interactions with the serious business of war. What makes this so replayable is how maps become puzzles you'll need to analyze enemy positions, predict AI movements, and sometimes achieve victory despite being heavily outnumbered through smart resource allocation and tactical positioning. Tactics Ogre Reborn is a complete overhaul of the 1995 tactical RPG masterpiece, featuring updated graphics, rebalanced gameplay, and quality-of-life improvements, while preserving the original's incredible branching narrative. You play as Denim Pavel, caught in a brutal civil war, where your choices determine which faction you support and fundamentally alter the story's direction. The isometric grid-based battles emphasize elevation and positioning, with height advantages affecting accuracy and damage. The class system is incredibly deep, with over 50 unique classes, including traditional warriors and mages, alongside specialized units like dragoons, ninjas, berserkers, and liches. What sets this apart is the unit leveling system. Instead of individual character levels, classes level up as a whole, eliminating tedious grinding and letting you experiment freely with different team compositions. The crafting system lets you forge and upgrade equipment, adding another layer of strategic preparation before tough battles. The story tackles heavy themes of ethnic conflict, morality in war, and the consequences of revenge with remarkable maturity. Triangle Strategy delivers a politically charged, tactical RPG, where your choices shape the story through the innovative Scales of Conviction system. You play as Serenoa Wolfort, heir to a noble house caught between three nations on the brink of war over salt, iron, and old grudges. The isometric battles take place on elevation-focused maps, where positioning is everything. High ground grants accuracy bonuses, elemental surfaces can be created and exploited, and flanking attacks deal devastating damage. Each character has a unique class and ability set that creates interesting synergies. Freeze enemies with ice magic, then shatter them with physical attacks. Or use shield units to block choke points, while archers rain death from behind. What makes this special is how the Scales of Conviction system forces you to convince your advisors before making major decisions. You'll gather information through exploration, then present arguments based on morality, liberty, or utility to sway votes. And the outcomes dramatically affect which characters join you and which story path you follow. The game features 7 distinct endings, depending on your choices throughout the story. SteamWorld Heist Ultimate Edition perfects the side-scrolling tactical shooter formula that makes every mission feel like pulling off an impossible heist. You captain a ragtag crew of steam-powered robot space pirates, boarding enemy ships to steal precious water in a post-apocalyptic future where Earth has exploded into asteroids. The genius hook is manual aim in a turn-based tactics game. You'll ricochet bullets off walls and ceilings to hit enemies behind cover, shoot lights to create darkness for stealthy approaches, or go for direct headshots when the angle is right. Each crew member has distinct weapons and abilities that suit different playstyles, and you can customize their loadouts with collected guns and hats that provide stat bonuses. The procedurally generated ship layouts ensure no two runs feel identical, and the optional objectives, like collecting all loot or finishing within turn limits, add replayability. Your crew gains experience and unlocks new abilities, letting you build specialists for different mission types. The strategic layer involves choosing which missions to tackle, managing your crew's health between fights, and upgrading your ship. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope ditches the grid system from Kingdom Battle and gives you complete freedom of movement within a range circle, making combat feel way more dynamic and fluid. You're traveling across multiple planets to save Spark's adorable fusions of Lumas and Rabbids from the villain Cursa, who's draining their energy and spreading darkness. Each planet has its own theme and inhabitants, with problems you'll solve through both combat and exploration. The combat focuses on team synergy, where you can dash into enemies while moving, use characters as springboards to reach higher ground, and chain attacks together for devastating combos. Every hero has unique weapons and abilities. Mario slides around stunning enemies, Rabbid Peach heals and blasts foes with her triple rocket launcher, Edge is a melee powerhouse with sword dashes. The sparks themselves act as equipable abilities that give your team elemental attacks, status effects, or defensive buffs, and you can swap them between missions to counter specific enemy types. Between battles, you'll explore open zones filled with puzzles and secrets that reward curiosity.
Beat it!
Oh yeah!
Hey!
Woohoo!
Fire Emblem Engage brings back the classic turn-based tactical combat the series is known for, while adding a fresh mechanic through emblem rings that let you summon heroes from past Fire Emblem games. You play as Alear, a divine dragon who awakens after a 1,000-year sleep to find the world threatened by the fell dragon's return. The grid-based battles feel tight and polished, with the weapon triangle returning swords beat axes, axes beat lances, lances beat swords, creating a rock-paper-scissors flow that makes unit positioning crucial. When you equip an emblem ring, your character can fuse with legendary heroes like Marth, Celica, or Byleth, gaining access to their signature weapons and powerful abilities for 3 turns. This engage mechanic adds another strategic layer, since you need to decide when to activate it for maximum impact. The class system lets units promote into advanced classes with better stats and new skills, and you can customize growth through careful resource management. Permadeath returns as a mode option, making every move matter when you're attached to your units. The story involves traveling across multiple kingdoms to gather emblem rings and recruit allies for the final confrontation.
There are too many of them. Divine One! Get out of here!
Divinity Original Sin 2 is a massive CRPG that gives you incredible freedom in how you approach every situation, whether through combat, dialogue, or creative problem solving. You create a character or choose from 6 origin characters, each with their own questlines and motivations, trying to become the next divine, while dealing with a power called Source that's both a gift and a curse. The turn-based combat is built around environmental interaction. Rain makes surfaces wet, electricity spreads through water, fire creates smoke and steam, oil ignites. And you can combine these elements for devastating combos, teleporting enemies into hazards, using tactical positioning on elevation for damage bonuses, and chaining crowd control effects creates incredibly satisfying strategic depth. You've got 4 party members with completely customizable builds: warrior, rogue, mage, ranger, or hybrid combinations using the classless skill system. The game respects your choices in conversations and quests, with branching paths and multiple solutions to problems. And you can complete entire sections through persuasion instead of combat if you build for it. Thronefall strips real-time strategy down to its essentials. During the day, you build your kingdom with towers, houses, and walls using limited coins. Then at night, you defend against waves of enemies while directly controlling your king character. Each level is a compact map where you'll restart multiple times, learning enemy patterns and optimizing your build order to survive increasingly difficult nights. You control your king with one joystick, and he auto-attacks enemies when close. But positioning matters, since you can't be everywhere at once to defend the weak side or reinforce your main choke point. Between runs, you unlock perks and mutations that modify rules, like starting with more money, adding new unit types, or introducing harder enemy variants for better rewards. The brilliance is in how streamlined everything feels. There's no resource gathering or complex tech trees, just smart decisions about what to build and where. You'll unlock different weapons for your king that change your playstyle. Bows for range damage, hammers for tanking, magic for area effects. As you beat levels on higher difficulties, you earn crowns that unlock new kingdoms with unique layouts and challenges.
You can always replay levels at a higher difficulty to complete quests or to chase the high scores of your friends. There's also a highly replayable roguelike mode where you go up against random waves of enemies that you can play hours on end. In short, Thronefall is an intentionally reduced version of a classical strategy game. It is very much designed to scratch that same itch, but in a more leaned back.
Persona 5 Tactica takes the Phantom Thieves into grid-based tactical battles across a twisted kingdom ruled by fascist oppression. The story picks up after the main game, as the crew gets pulled into an alternate world where they meet Arena, a rebel leader fighting against an authoritarian ruler, forcing people into arranged marriages. Combat happens on small maps, where positioning and exploiting weaknesses is everything. Hit an enemy's weakness to knock them down, then perform a triple threat attack when you've got 3 units surrounding a downed enemy for massive damage. The One More system returns, giving you extra actions when you exploit weaknesses or score critical hits, letting skilled play snowball into devastating turn combinations. Each Phantom Thief has unique guns and skills that suit different roles. Joker swaps personas for versatility, Morgana focuses on healing and support, Ryuji deals heavy damage but burns through SP quickly. The game introduces new movement mechanics, like vaulting over cover to reach advantageous positions, and using melee attacks up close when guns aren't optimal. Between missions, you'll upgrade your character's skills, fuse personas for Joker, and follow a story that explores themes of freedom and personal choice.
Let's do this. Think you're gonna dig this?
Now
Can't
it's
help
my
but be
turn.
enamored by my own skill. Go, doing good over there. Yes, another enemy dead.
Into the Breach is a turn-based tactics game where you control 3 giant mechs defending cities from massive insect-like creatures called the Vek, emerging from the ground. The brilliant twist is that you see exactly what enemies will do next turn, where they'll move, and what they'll attack, turning every turn into a puzzle where you need to minimize damage to civilian buildings with limited options. You're not trying to kill everything, you're trying to prevent buildings from being destroyed, since each building's health is your resource pool for continues. The mechs come in squads with different abilities. Some push enemies, others freeze or set them on fire, teleport units, or create shields. Your moves need to be perfect because there's no random chance here. If you push a Vek into another Vek, you know exactly how much damage they'll take and whether it kills them. Each run plays out across 4 islands, and when you lose, you send 1 pilot back in time to start over with experience intact, creating a roguelike loop. The time travel story framing makes repeated runs feel meaningful rather than frustrating. Battles take place on small 8x8 grids and usually last 5 turns, making this perfect for short play sessions. Wargroove is a love letter to Advance Wars with a fantasy twist, featuring turn-based tactical warfare where you'll command armies of soldiers, mages, knights, and fantasy units across grid-based maps. The campaign follows multiple commanders across a story of betrayal and war, as the young Queen Mercia is forced to flee her kingdom when it's attacked. You'll build units from structures you control, capture villages for income, and leverage terrain bonuses. Forests provide defense, mountains give range advantages, and bridges create natural choke points. Each of the game's commanders acts as a hero unit with a special groove ability that charges through combat actions. Mercia heals nearby allies. Valder summons skeleton warriors from fallen enemies. Caesar's dogs can move twice in 1 turn. The groove system adds an extra strategic layer since timing when to unleash these powerful abilities can swing battles. Unit types have clear strengths and weaknesses, creating rock, paper, scissors dynamics, and the critical hit system rewards positioning for bonus damage. The pixel art is absolutely gorgeous, with expressive character portraits and smooth battle animations. Pikmin 4 perfects Nintendo's real-time strategy formula, where you command armies of plant-like creatures to solve puzzles, fight wildlife, and rescue castaways on a mysterious planet. You're a rescue team member searching for Captain Olimar and other stranded space explorers, and you'll explore detailed environments from a tiny perspective where everyday objects become massive obstacles. The Pikmin come in different types. Red resist fire and are strong fighters. Yellow conduct electricity and can be thrown high. Blue breathe underwater, ice freeze enemies, and water. Rock break hard shells, and purple are heavy powerhouses. Managing your squad of up to 100 Pikmin simultaneously is where the strategy happens. You'll split groups to multitask, sending reds to break down a firewall, while blues carry treasure from a pond, and yellows build an electric circuit. Your dog companion Ochi is a game changer, able to carry heavy objects, traverse water, and rush into enemies, essentially acting as a mobile transport and combat unit. The new night expeditions add a tower defense element, where you protect Luminobs from nocturnal creatures using glow Pikmin. Final Fantasy Tactics is the tactical RPG that defined the genre on PlayStation, now on Switch with the War of the Lions version that includes additional content and cleaner translation. You play as Ramza Beyoulf, a noble caught in a devastating war where political manipulation and religious corruption lead to betrayal and tragedy on a massive scale. The job system is incredibly deep, with over 20 classes, including base jobs like Squire and Chemist, advanced classes like Knight and Monk, and specialized roles like Ninja, Summoner, Dragoon, and Samurai. Characters learn abilities from their current job, and you can equip skills from master jobs to create custom builds. Imagine a Knight who can summon Ifrit, or a Black Mage who uses ninja speed. The isometric grid battles emphasize height differences, where elevation affects accuracy and damage, and charging time for spells means you need to predict where enemies will move. Status effects are genuinely useful here. Sleep, Silence, Slow, Blind, and Charm can turn battles when used strategically. The story is mature and complex, dealing with classism, religious dogma, and the manipulation of history by those in power, told through gorgeous sprite work and excellent writing.
The next move is key.
Leave it to me.
Slay the Spire fuses deck-building card games with roguelike progression as you climb a mysterious spire, fighting enemies through turn-based card battles where your deck is your entire arsenal. You'll choose from 4 characters. The Ironclad focuses on strength and heavy attacks. The Silent uses poison and card draw. The Defect creates orbs for passive effects. And the Watcher manipulates stances for burst damage. Each run starts with a basic deck of strikes and defends, and after each battle, you'll add a new card to your deck from a choice of 3. The genius is in the deck-building decisions do you take. Powerful cards that win fights now, or skip them to keep your deck lean and consistent. Energy management is crucial since you only have 3 energy per turn to play cards, forcing tough choices about which cards to play each turn. Relics provide permanent passive bonuses that can enable entire strategies, and you'll find different routes up the Spire, offering shops, random events, elite enemies, or rest sites. Combat requires thinking several turns ahead, setting up big damage combos, managing block cards to survive enemy attacks, and adapting when draws don't go your way. And that's our top 20 best strategy games on Nintendo Switch. From tactical RPGs to turn-based combat and innovative hybrid systems, the Switch has an incredible library for strategy fans. What's your favorite strategy game on Switch? Did I miss any titles you think deserve to be on this list? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Nintendo Switch content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.